Now on Nightside, we'll tell you the new plan from Airway Heights police to help victims of violent crime.
We are tracking rain and snow across the region tonight. I'll show you how things will change for the morning commute in your first alert forecast.
And Washington State faces a budget gap, the solution the governor has proposed, and how it could impact big businesses. You're watching 4 News Now, Nightside. All right, thanks for staying up with us tonight. I'm Derek Dice. The Airway Heights Police Department is getting a $545,000 grant to create a new program for the victims of violent crime. The West Plains Victims of Violence Support Services Program will bring in 2 safety advocates to help people navigate the criminal justice system, behavioral health, and social services. The State Attorney General's office hopes these grants will help prevent gun violence.
It's such an opportunity and service for these people that we serve. What an opportunity for our community to be able to give those services back to them, and what a blessing from the state in general to be able to facilitate that future for our community.
Now, the safety advocates will work directly with the police department's domestic violence detective. Washington legislators will have to bridge a budget gap of more than $12 billion in the upcoming session. Governor Jay Inslee announcing today his suggestion for how they can solve that. Inslee proposed budget for spending through 2027 with cuts of about $2 billion, and a part of it suggesting a pause in expanding eligibility for the ECAP program, which funds preschool and child care. Another big part of his proposal would be to tax big companies 10% more.
It would be on companies with annual income exceeding $1 million in certain tax categories.
Now, Governor Inslee claims this would pull in $2.6 billion in revenue, but local District 4 representative and Senator-elect Leonard Christian, who represents Spokane Valley, is concerned about the impact on consumers.
People are going to go across the border and start doing more shopping.
Senator-elect Christian is concerned that raising business taxes may increase consumer prices, prompting people locally to shop in Idaho, where items might actually be cheaper. Legislators will meet in January for the budget session to address the deficit and consider Inslee's proposals. All right, time for a check of the weather. We're going to send it over to Chris Crocker now to see when we might see the sun again.
Yes, there's some hints of sunshine in your Wednesday forecast, but first, it is continuing to rain steadily in downtown Spokane. It has been a wet evening. A little bit different story in Colville, where the snow continues to fall. Right in Colville, reports of a little over an inch of snow, but some of the outlying areas seeing quite a bit more. And what was just a wet day on the roads in Sandpoint has turned into a snowy evening. Several inches of snow reported in parts of Bonner and Boundary counties this evening. And all of this will start to turn more slushy and eventually wet as temperatures warm up. On our radar right now, there's a back edge to this precipitation. However, it's just going to be a brief lull right around midnight, and then our odds of wet weather will begin increasing again before they dramatically halt by mid-morning on Wednesday in Spokane. Our temperatures are quite varied. We've got warmer air that is pushing in. We're hitting our high temperature in Spokane right now at 39, but that warm air is having a hard time making it north into those northern valleys. We've been holding steady in Sandpoint, Bonners Ferry, and Colville, right around freezing or just a little bit below. Eventually, though, we'll start to see those numbers increase, and by tomorrow morning, they should be in the upper 30s. Winter weather alerts, there are advisories in effect for the area shaded in blue until 4 a.m. A total of 1 to 4 inches of snow possible in those northern valleys. Meanwhile, your Wednesday planner, rain to start the day. And then as that comes to a halt, we're going to start to see some sunshine. Temperatures continue to warm to a high of 46. 33 is our average high, and the winds are picking up. I will tell you about a wind advisory, show you where we'll see the strongest gusts tomorrow, coming up in your 7-day forecast, Eric.
Chris, thank you. The Spokane Police Department is investigating a shooting near the Cedar West Apartments in northwest Spokane. that put nearby Brown Elementary School into secure and teach mode this morning. Spokane Public Schools says classes resume while the outside doors stayed locked for a short time. There were no reported victims and no arrests have been made in the shooting. A new contract between the city of Spokane and a social service organization called Consistent Care hopes a unique, individualized approach towards the opioid crisis helps with our city's challenges downtown. By using a case manager and making use of outreach services, this new program will take a one-on-one approach to help so-called hotspotters who fluctuate between jail, emergency rooms, and court systems.
And those are the people we really want to impact, the people that have these multiple touches, whereas if we help this one person, it'll decrease 60 ER visits or 4 incarcerations.
Working closely with downtown police and the court system, Consistent Care will identify 50 people struggling with opioid use disorder who are high utilizers of city services because of their addiction. The program is funded by opioid settlement dollars and will cost $375,000. Well, Santa paid a visit to newborns and their families at Multicare's NICU clinic. The babies were given their own stockings sewn by volunteers and took their very first pictures with Santa Claus.
Santa is something that most families celebrate or with Christmas, and so to be able to have Santa come in and be something that's normal for a family is really important.
The hospital hopes this visit helps families celebrate their child's first Christmas and create lifelong traditions they would be creating at home. Well, time is running out to sign up for insurance for January under the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. The original deadline of Sunday was extended because of low enrollment, so you now have until midnight Wednesday. You can sign up through healthcare.gov. If your state runs its own marketplace, the site will direct you there.
The annual Railroad Rumble returns to Spokane Arena after the Cheney Blackhawks swept the Rogers Pirates and won this amazing trophy for their spirit and that night a year ago in Reese Court. But tonight, Rogers wanted some sweet, sweet revenge. Boys went up first, and they were treated all the hollerin' students, minion outfits on one end, superheroes and villains on the other. And Brady Krebs, the hero now, deep shot, top of the key. Rogers' first lead of the game, 7-5. In the first, but now late in the same quarter, shot no good. Cheney just spitting out, still going. Austin Peckham, own rebound, another miss on the board. Ball dribbling out. Liam Carver, he nails it. 10-7, Blackhawks lead at the end of one. We'll fast forward to the end of the third quarter. Malachi Ford, buzzer beater. It's so good. Alex Peabody behind him knew it beforehand. 31-25, Cheney's still in front, but it wouldn't be that way for long. 13-0 run through the end of the third and beginning of the fourth quarter. Rogers leads again, and now inside the final couple minutes, Trayshawn Green gets the shot to fall. Look at him celebrate. Pirates closing it out. They get revenge from last year and win 44-39. Now to the girls' game that tipped off at 8 o'clock earlier. Cheney trying to win to avenge the boys' earlier loss, plus building their dub in their neck of the woods last season. Rogers trying for the sweep. First quarter, bucket picked by Harmony Ortiz. Sage Alexandra Stewart has it, but it goes right back to Ortiz, and the bank is open. She scores, getting Rogers on the board for the first time. And back to Cheney. Kaylee Coleman, wide open, slow-mo three. That one is locked in. Cheney takes the 5-2 lead. But deep Blackhawk pass, Sarah Hansen, Allison Void under the bucket. That jumper's good. 7-2 game. And Tamar Williams still fighting for the Pirates. She misses, gets her own rebound. Second chance bucket falls. Cheney running away with the first quarter. They led 15-7, and they end up winning it 42-24. That's all for First Sports. Check us out later in the cast for more on WSU basketball and the Chiefs on the road.
All right, Jack, thank you. Big changes are on the way if you go online to book a hotel or buy tickets for an event. We'll tell you what those are. This year, you can travel back to the early 1900s to celebrate the holidays. We'll tell you when you can visit the historic Campbell House.
We've picked up over 1/4 inch of rain at the airport in Spokane, and it is still coming down. I'll tell you about some sunshine in your Wednesday forecast, but it's going to come along with gusty winds. That's after the break.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
4 News Now is brought to you by STCU and Volunteers Count.
Mom, why is there stuff out here?
can't stay here.
Okay. Sleep in heavenly peace.
Bigger, brighter, and better than ever. Check in on the new Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. We've just completed a major expansion, adding more amenities to elevate your guest experience to new heights.
So, what are you waiting for?
The holidays.
So happy together.
And holiday trips. And holiday toys.
Let's do this, fellas.
And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Get 3.9% financing for 60 months on all 2024 Silverado HD pickups. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
This is for all the lonely people, thinking that life has passed them by. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup and ride that highway in the sky.
Are you ready to rock back and forth? Does God ever call you and ask you for stuff?
I heart you. Can we get rid of that?
Jimmy Kimmel Live, new weeknights on ABC.
Spokane Wedding Expo is January 4th. For tickets, go to SpokaneWeddingExpo.com.
Welcome back. This year, you can travel back to the early 1900s and celebrate the holidays with the Campbell family. The historic Campbell House in Browns Addition opens for holiday visits this Thursday. The historic home was built in 1898 by renowned Spokane architect Kirtland Cutter. The Northwest Museum of Arts and Culture has preserved the home and transformed it for the holiday season. Your family can interact with these living history actors as they prepare for Christmas Day around the house.
It's very busy around here. It's full of joy, though, too. People come from all over the world to visit us, and Mrs. Campbell couldn't be happier. She opens a home every year.
And your family can check out the Campbell House holidays this Thursday through Sunday. Admission is included in your price of your ticket to the Museum of Arts and Culture. It's a pretty cool house if you've never been in there.
You know, I've been to the house, but I have never interacted with, I've never been there with the actors before. Have you?
No.
That is worth going back for, I think. That looks like a lot of fun and might be a good weekend to find some indoorsy Christmas things to do. There's more rain coming and rain in progress right now in Spokane. It's 39 degrees, 34 degrees in Coeur d'Alene. I've been watching this particular shot of Coeur d'Alene, US 95 and I-90, and there was snow on all the grassy surfaces through the evening. Now that is all melting, and we're going to be doing some more melting as well. 4 things to know about your weather. Rain off and on through tomorrow morning. Will be warming overnight. There's a wind advisory for tomorrow morning, and then some sunshine on the way for tomorrow, but there's a lot of weather to get through before we get there. Let's start. We have a warm front that has not quite made it into the Northeast Mountains and North Idaho, so we're continuing to see that snow, but that is going to continue to make its way to the north, bringing the warm air with it. We have another round of rain moving into the area around 3 a.m. That will continue through about 7 a.m. Actually, here's 6. And a cold front then starts moving through. That's going to pick up our winds, and once that clears, our precipitation will come to an end. Here's 10 a.m. tomorrow, and then our skies will clear, and then I think we're going to see some sunshine. I sound so surprised, but it is a very dreary winter so far, or December so far. That wind advisory goes into effect at 4 in the morning and continues until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Our winds will be peaking right around 9 a.m. with wind gusts in the 45-mile-per-hour range, and then begin tapering off. Here's a closer look. of the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area. 4 a.m. just starting to see those wind gusts picking up. And then as that cold front comes through, the winds start to pick up. Here's 46-mile-per-hour winds at 9 a.m. at the airport, Airway Heights, Spangle, Liberty Lake, but wind gusts in excess of 40 miles per hour throughout the region. And then they will die down fairly quickly, but stay breezy through the afternoon and evening. And then we get a break from the wet weather for the rest of the day Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday. Precipitation back in the forecast Saturday and Sunday, and it will not be in the form of rain. We have, or excuse me, snow. We have more rain on the way. 42 with rain on our first day of winter. Saturday, rain on Sunday. Looks like another chance of rain on Monday, and Christmas Eve, 44 degrees with rain. Not very Christmassy. Guess we will have to go to the Campbell House and other holiday events to bring that Christmas spirit around.
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, if you've driven by the intersection of Maple and Maxwell in the last year, you've probably seen crowds of people, trash, or even drug use. A group of 4 homes at the epicenter of the problem were recently purchased by the Easy Home Buyer. Since the purchase, they say they've had to evict more than 60 people off the properties, clean up massive amounts of trash and needles, and even hire a security company to prevent break-ins. But Chad Young, the owner of Easy Home Buyer, says this process has been anything but easy.
We had neighbors, the police, that were so angry that people were still living in this condition, and it was like, we've done everything the courts would allow us to do. It wouldn't matter how many times people called the police because of the excessive drug use, the violence. Until people were actually evicted from the home, we couldn't do anything. I mean, our hands were totally tied.
So why is the business spending so much time and money to turn these properties around? And what is their plan for the future of Maple and Maxwell? Watch Natalie Grant's special report. That's tomorrow night on 4 News Now at 6. Well, the rock band Kansas is coming to the festival at Sandpoint next year. You can hear their classics like Carry On Wayward Son and Dust in the Wind on August 1st. Tickets go on sale Thursday morning. The link to get yours is on our website, kxoy.com. Well, big changes are on the way if you go online and book a hotel or buy tickets for an event. The Federal Trade Commission is finalizing a rule on so-called junk fees. How many times have you found a great price online only to find a pile of fees that make that great deal, well, not so great? Now the FTC says a new rule will take the surprise out of the final cost and get rid of junk fees by requiring live event tickets, hotels, and vacation rentals to disclose all pricing up front. The total price also has to be displayed more prominently than any other costs.
Whatever price you see is the price that you are paying at the end. No more mystery surprise fees at the very end of the process, which really cheat consumers and also punish honest businesses.
And the rule officially takes effect around April of next year. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce opposes the change, calling it nothing more than an attempt to micromanage pricing structures of businesses. Well, Christmas is right around the corner, but the joy of the season can also come with some stressful situations. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has your parenting playbook for the holidays and how to keep the peace and your rules when you're surrounded by family who may have different ways of doing things.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, but the holidays can also be a balancing act for families.
Expectation setting is step one in having a holiday that's going to actually feel good to you.
We asked Dr. Becky Kennedy, a clinical psychologist and founder of Good Inside, your biggest holiday parenting questions.
How do you manage rules? Because your family has one set of rules and other families have a completely different set.
Let's say you're a family where my kids watch no TV after a certain time, and then your kids are with their cousins who are all watching a movie late at night. And you're like, if I change this rule today, it doesn't mean, oh, that rule is gone forever. I give myself permission to shift things, to make things work over the holiday.
Our viewer, Mom Roxanne, wants to know how to handle unwanted input from family.
I was curious how I should respond to extended family members when they don't agree with my parenting approach.
You are not alone in this dilemma. One of my favorite lines is actually to diffuse it by saying something like, "You're right. We're doing things with Bobby that are different than what you would do. It's okay that we don't agree.
Mom Tiffany is worried about too many gifts from the grandparents.
There's no room in my apartment for all the gifts. I both am grateful. I'm also worrying about how this is creating a spoiled child.
Your parents giving your kid boatloads of gifts is not going to turn your kid into an entitled monster. Your child is parented by you 365 days of the year. Their development, that happens over such kind of longer amounts of time than the holiday week.
And Mom Gabby is seeking advice on teaching gratitude.
Can you help us with some pointers on talking with our kids about being gracious for gifts?
I have a 5-year-old, and so she is responsive in the immediate sense to whatever is in front of her. It can be difficult.
We have to start with when you want something and you get something different, that's just a hard human experience. You can get a box. I've done this with my kids, and I put a rock in it. It's a little bit of a dry run, and I gave it to my daughter after we did this, and she opened it and she goes, "Oh, thanks so much for thinking of me." We can't expect ourselves to use a skill when we need it if we haven't practiced that skill.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Clogged drains are a huge problem and can cost thousands. With Mainstream, you can prevent clogs before they happen. There's no better time than now to call Mainstream and ask about our 83 or it's free drain clearing special. For just $83, we'll send a technician to your home to clear your drain. And if for some reason we can't get it, it's free. With over 20 years of experience, the expert technicians at Mainstream can restore the flow. Call Mainstream today or visit us at mainstreamhomeservices.com to take advantage of this limited time deal.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with the Ford crew.
Maverick, Ranger.
Another truckload of trucks?
Big event needs a big selection. Right, like the Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. Gas, hybrid, electric, and big selection means great deals. Exactly, which means it's the best time to buy. Well said, Sam.
Lease a 24 F-150 STX 4x4 for just $399 a month for 36 months, only at your local Ford dealer.
Another successful year, our 8th year making spirits bright in Cowley Park. The 4 News Now Extreme team couldn't do it without all the volunteers and companies that helped us. So we hope you enjoy it. And we want to thank Horizon Credit Union for always showing up and getting the job done.
I'm Chad Young from the EasyHomebuyer.com, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene's easiest way to sell your house fast. If you have a few moments, I hope you'll give me the opportunity to make you an instant cash offer on your home. With the EasyHomebuyer.com, we will buy your house in as-is condition with no repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. To get your no-obligation cash offer, give us a call or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
A pocket of Spokane homes overrun with crime and drugs, leaving neighbors too scared to go outside. One company is fighting back, but it's no easy fix. I'm Natalie Grant. See the extreme measures being taken to turn things around. Wednesday, only on 4 News Now at 6.
4 News Now is brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino.
Well, there's a new call to develop new antibiotics and save millions of lives. More than 1 million people a year die from antibiotic-resistant infections. A new study shows that number could grow to more than 1.5 million people a year over the next 25 years. The study shows the hardest hit areas will be in South Asia, in heavily populated countries like India and Bangladesh. Kenya and other sub-Saharan African countries will be hit hard as well. There's been a drop in the number of children under 5 dying from the infections, but a sharp increase in people older than 70. President-elect Donald Trump met with the CEO of TikTok as the social media app faces a ban in the U.S. Trump tried to ban it during his first term, but on the campaign trail this year, he opposed a law signed by President Biden, which would ban the app in the U.S. beginning January 19th unless its Chinese owners sell to an American company. The president-elect discussed the future of TikTok during his news conference in Mar-a-Lago.
I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok because I won youth by 34 points. And there are those that say that TikTok has something to do with that.
And the ban has received bipartisan support amid concern the app poses a national security threat. TikTok has now filed an emergency appeal to the Supreme Court, asking the justices to block the ban from taking effect, saying it will, quote, shutter one of America's most popular speech platforms and violates the First Amendment. Well, many of us are guilty of mindlessly binge scrolling through the internet and social media. Now the question is, could that be doing damage to our brains? Medical experts say it can cause what's referred to as brain rot. They say consuming long stretches of low-quality content online can trigger cognitive decline, brain fog, and shorten your attention span. Overindulging in internet contact can also cause even more severe symptoms like depression in teens. Dr. Sanjay Gupta is saying more than 3 hours for teens seem to double their risk for depression.
Real thing, and it's concerning for a lot of people. It tends to thin certain areas of the brain called the cortex that is responsible for your memory and your perception.
So what can we do to prevent brain rot? Limiting your screen time can help. The most recent survey from Pew Research Center asked a group of teens ages 13 to 17 about their tech usage. 46% say they use the internet almost constantly, but it's not just a teen problem. 41% of adults say they're almost online constantly. Medical experts say it's important to keep track of how much time you spend online to prevent binge watching. All right, after the break, hear more about WSU men's basketball and their prep for this year's Apple Cup Series.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Satay Bistro and Catering Company.
On the morning of Christmas, wake up the house.
For all will be stirring, especially this mouse.
Gather the family for special holiday performances by Elton John, 17, John Legend, the cast of Descendants, The Rise of Red, Pentatonics, Anika Noni Rose, Andy Grammer, Carly Pierce, Disney on Broadway, and more.
It's a celebration
you won't want to miss.
Disney Parks Magical Christmas Day Parade, Christmas morning on ABC.
We aren't just HVAC specialists. We're a Lennox Premier dealer. That means we offer the most energy-efficient products on the market with savings you can see and perfect air you can feel. Your comfort is our passion, and we're with you every breath of the way. Enjoy greater comfort and lower energy costs. Call us today and save on Lennox with special incentives and rebates.
Call Norco Heating and Air today.
A performance that truly matters for each and every one of us. This is what you've been waiting for. See it at least once in your lifetime. Shen Yun. Coming to Spokane, First Interstate Center for the Arts. Shenyun.com.
It's that time of year again to get the Honda of your dreams during Happy Honda Days, where you'll find great offers on a sporty new Civic, spirited Accord, fun to drive HRV, and versatile CRV. So don't wait. Turn your holiday dreams into reality with a new Honda named KBB.com's best value brand. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
We saw unfortunate news for Washington State football fans with star quarterback John Mateer into the transfer portal, but now he has broken his silence on social media after entering in the portal yesterday. In an Instagram post, Mateer saying, "Pullman gifted me with the opportunity to learn and grow into the man I have become." He added, "The landscape of college football has changed and created opportunities for me that can't be ignored." Mateer enters the transfer portal after turning down a 7-figure offer from WSU, according to head coach Jake Dickert. And he still hasn't said where he's playing next year, though it looks like Oklahoma and Miami are the top most likely candidates. Mateer led the country with 44 total touchdowns this season. And now we saw Mateer lead Washington State football to a very solid Apple Cup win in Seattle this season. So why not basketball, too? The Cougs come off a big win over the Missouri State Bears and are hungry for another dub in Seattle.
but with a little bit of a depleted team. This year's Apple Cup is the first not in the same conference since 1963, and the rivals only meeting this season. But despite down their leading scorer for the year in Cedric Coward and seeing a coach in his first year in Pullman, the Cougs are a strong 9-2 team, unbeaten 5-0 at home and 1-0 in true road games. Head coach David Riley spoke with the media today on how important this game is to the program and the support from the community he's felt.
I've heard from a ton of people this week about, wishing me good luck and asking about the guys, and it's definitely a different level than it had been the rest of the season. And spending the last 17 years in Spokane, there's plenty of Coug alums out there that make sure the world knows when we beat the Huskies.
Well, the world sure did know when Wazoo beat Washington in overtime in last season's thrilling final Pac-12 game in Seattle, but then fell in the regular season finale by 6. Isaiah Watts was the only Coug that logged any minutes in either game to be on this year's roster. Tomorrow's Apple Cup game tips off late at 8 p.m. in Alaska Airlines Arena, and going on the road might be a good omen for Washington State. They've won 4 of the last 5 out west, including their last 2 there. We'll have highlights tomorrow on Nightside. Spokane Chiefs in action on the road at the Portland Winterhawks. 2-0 Portland lead late in the first period, but Rasmus Ekstrom gets the first Chief goal on the board, 2-1 game. But now we go to the second period. 14 minutes to go. Long shot. Ekstrom again ties us up 2-2. 4-on-3 power play strike, a beauty. 2.5 to go in the period. Shea Van Olm all by himself, weaving through traffic. What a shot. Spokane in front for the first time tonight, 3-2 game, and the Chiefs are right back on the power play. 8.5 to go. Ekstrom earning the hat trick, but the defense can't hold. Portland scores 6, and they beat Spokane 6-4. The Chiefs return to action after the longest break of the season now, 10 days. We'll be back at home December 27th at 6 p.m., but sports reporter Sydney Berger and I will not be there because that's the same night as Washington State's Holiday Bowl, so a very busy night ahead for sports. Catch us after the break looking at weather after this, but we got to sit here one more second and say, can you believe we are only a week and a half away from bowl season starting for the Cougs?
I'd frankly like to have a little more time so Debbie Eckhouse can have a few more reps and practices as he gets ready to start for the Cougs.
It's going to make it a little tricky.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
Are you a pour-over purist? At Numerica, you'll find money answers for you and only you. Learn more at numericacu.com.
When it comes to your health, put yourself in the driver's seat. As an older adult, you're at higher risk for severe flu and COVID. In fact, people 65 and older who didn't get last season's vaccines were twice as likely to wind up in the hospital. But you hold the key. Be ready for the road ahead by getting your updated flu and COVID vaccines. Risk less. Do more.
Northwest Winterfest is back and going on now. It's the Northwest's largest illuminated holiday and cultural festival, now indoors and bigger and better than ever. Come see Dinosaur Land, brand new this year. Plus live performances, free interactive children's activities, and free admission for kids 10 and under. Come celebrate the magic. Your tickets are waiting at northwestwinterfest.com.
The holidays. So happy together. And holiday trips. And holiday toys. Let's do this, fellas. And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag and use your red tag bonus cash to get $5,750 total cash allowance on this Silverado.
See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
Rain will continue through tomorrow morning, then the winds pick up, and then the sun comes out. We're going to have a whole lot of weather on Wednesday, and then a break, more rain on the way.
We're kind of running the gambit there tomorrow then, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be a busy day, and the snow will finally turn to rain in those northern valleys. It's taking a while.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Thank you all for being with us. Don't forget, you can wake up with Good Morning Northwest starting at 5 a.m. tomorrow. We'll see you at 5 o'clock tomorrow night.